Hi, it's Thursday, June 23rd, 2016, the day of the EU referendum here in the UK, and it's 2:25 p.m. So we've got 5 minutes till the New York Stock Exchange opens. But despite that, the Dow is up 144 points, the futures, so up 0.8%. The market still seems to be betting on a Remain vote for the EU referendum, for the UK to remain in the EU. Since Thursday last week, when Joe Cox was killed or murdered, the pound has risen from around 140.11, I think was the low, 140.11, and we got up today to 149.50, almost 149.48. And I was just reading an article earlier that some people are starting to say that even if we get a Remain vote, that they will sell the pound, because even back when the pound was in the doldrums around 140, people thought that a rebound in the pound would only be to around 147. So it looks to be overdone, and it's not even guaranteed that we will get a Remain vote. The polls were neck and neck last night, and we've had a lot of rain and flooding in the UK. Some people are arguing that that might help the Leave campaign. I'm not too sure, but all I wanted to say as well is that if you do get a Remain, it's the old adage of buy the rumor, sell the fact. And if we do get a Leave, we could see a very, very sharp drop in the pound, back below 140. And the other thing I want to point out, even if we get a Remain, is that the fundamentals for the pound and the direction of the pound have not changed, no matter what outcome we get for this referendum. I've spoken in earlier videos about that, and one of the big pressure points in the pound came late last year when the IMF announced that they're going to add the Chinese yuan or the renminbi to their SDR basket as of October this year. And to do that, they had to change the weightings of the SDR. The SDR is made up of US dollars, euros, Japanese yen, and the pound, and the Swiss franc, I think, as well. I'm not too sure, but they lowered the weighting of the pound by over 10%. The pound took the brunt of the reweighting, so that the renminbi could be added on to the SDR. Guess what? The dollar weighting wasn't changed, which is not surprising, seeing that the U.S. Treasury controls the IMF, and they've got a veto. It's the only country that has a veto in the IMF, so they can do anything they want, the U.S. Treasury. And when I made a video in December about this, and I said that should hurt the pound. And if you look at the pound going back to 2014, before anyone was talking about the referendum or Brexit or anything like that, the pound got up to 171 against the US dollar, and it got down to 138 late last year or earlier this year. So we've had a devaluation in the pound prior to this referendum brouhaha that we've had, and that it would devalue the pound. And if you want to go even further back to 2008, the pound got up to $2.11. So longer term, I expect the pound to continue to go lower. All we're seeing now is a lot of noise. I haven't been talking too much about the markets lately because it's so volatile and it's all over the place. I mean, we could wake up tomorrow or later on today, we could see the Dow down 300 if if it comes out that the UK voters have voted to leave. So it's all over the place. Precious metals have taken a beating, and I think that's related to the moves in the pound. Gold is now at 1261, so we're down about $40 since the end of last week, but silver is holding on fairly well. It's at 1730, and I have to say I noticed the precious metals mining shares, they did well yesterday. The HUY was up yesterday, so they're holding up really well. So apart from that, yeah, right now the pound is 148.71, and I wouldn't want to be long the pound right now in terms of a trade. And I don't think there's much upside left. We could see a pop if there is a Remain vote, maybe up to 150, but then we turn back around because nothing has changed for the UK. We're running huge budget deficits. We're ramping up the national debt. Our economy is dependent on credit and housing. Our manufacturing is shrinking. We need a lower currency to be able to accommodate all the debt, be it public, private, or corporate. So in my view, the pound is still headed south. And so are all other fiat currencies. Don't get me wrong, the dollar. So I still believe, and I haven't changed my opinion, that the best currency to have to protect yourself in any country in the world is gold, and also silver, because they're currencies that cannot be printed out of thin air or digitized out of thin air. So I continue to, espouse the hard currencies, the precious metals. So apparently I've heard that there's going to be hedge funds conducting private exit polls for this referendum because there's no official polls being taken. Apparently taking polls for like a referendum, which is a one-off like that, doesn't usually work. But Jim Rickards has come out and said that hedge funds are taking private polls and that they might be reacting prior to the closing of the booths, voting booths in the UK at 10 p.m. London time. The US stock market is open till 9 o'clock London time, but we could see some movement in the markets prior to that close or after the close in New York, in the futures market, and also early in the morning New York time tomorrow through Asia and also Europe. So I think it's going to be very volatile. My advice, and that's what I would do personally, and I'm not trying to tell people what to do, would be not to trade, but to hold on to your core positions or investments and not to worry about what's going on in the short term with this referendum vote. So if you like this video, please subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching. Monaco64 here. Take care. Goodbye.